Hi there, I'm Linda and this is Huttons Valley Permaculture. Back in spring, I did some plantings up here in my top swale. Today, we're going to see if we can find those plants and see how they've survived summer. I did some plantings of support trees in two areas. The first of which was to support the white mulberry tree that I planted about 5 or 6 months ago in early spring. So we'll be finding those plants today and I'll just do a little bit of maintenance work. And the second area was right down the end of my top swale, just over the other side of this berm. Now, just in this area here, I planted 7 or 8 trees and it was in late spring, so I wasn't sure how they were going to survive summer. I have been out here once to give them a water on a really hot day. And other than that, I haven't done much. So today I need to get around, find all the plants, cut down the vegetation around them and just make sure they've got plenty of mulch. I did make a video about diversifying plantings in areas of your food forest to help support the whole system. So I'll leave a link to that video. But something that's really important is just to nurture these little plants until they get established. So that's what we're having a look at today. This one is looking particularly in need of a little bit of water, so we might bring a bucket load around when we finish and just get them hydrated. It's been a fairly dry summer and I really haven't given these plants much love, just one watering, and some of them are looking really good and putting on quite a bit of growth, but others do look like they're struggling and needing a bit more moisture. So all I'm going to do today is come around. In this section the plants are quite easy to find. I'm going to just harvest some of this long grass and pile up around the base of each tree so that when we do start to get some decent rain, there'll be a lot to hold on to that moisture and just support these plants a little bit better. I did do plenty of mulch when I first planted the trees, and there's evidence of a little bit of that there still. But you can see underneath it is fairly dry and nothing much to hold on to any rainfall that does come along. So that's what we're going to address today. Okay, so that's fairly well mulched there now. Oh, just pulled the stick out. The sticks are really important for marking these trees. In spring, they definitely get lost. See if I can get this back in again. Okay. Now, something like wood chips would probably be better for mulching your trees, and I certainly do that with my productive trees. But with the support species, I just make the most of any sort of mulch that I have. In this case, it's the long grass, and there's plenty of that. I kind of bundle it up so that it's thick, and I find that lasts a bit longer than having it just kind of thinly spread around the plants. So that's 7 plants done. It doesn't take too long to get around and look after these young plants. And as it's going to be hot the next couple of days, I'll just look after them with a little bit of water. Right, I'll be good to go for a few more months. Now we'll take a look at the mulberry tree area. Unlike the end of the swale, I haven't been in here and watered any of these plants. They were planted earlier in spring, so they had a bit more chance to get started. So I haven't really nurtured these ones as much. So first of all, we're going to find where all the plants are. So this is why I put in a stake at each point. I don't tie the tree up to it, but it's just really to identify where there was a tree. And you can see if there still remains a tree. Now, looking at this first stake here, I can't really see a tree. Now, what you do risk with this set and forget method of tree planting is losing your trees. They can get buried under the foliage and just kind of lost in amongst everything. Now, this tree definitely looks like it's not here any longer, which is a shame, but I've got plenty of trees. I can always put in another one with this stake, and it might do better with autumn and winter to get going. So, one tree not successful. Now, this is our second little stake. And once again, we're going to have a good look in here. And once again, there is no tree, no signs of a tree. So that's 2 for 2, no success. Moving on from our 2 failures, our next stake reveals a different story. And we've got a surviving plant. It's kind of fallen over from where it was planted, but it looks happy enough. So I call that one a success. And then just next to it is another stake, which is next to lots of dock seeds. I'd love to move those ones on. But it's hard to spot sometimes, but this tree is actually going really well. Okay, on the other side of our dock plant is another stake, and looks like we're going to have to dig around in this one as well. So let's have a look in here. And I don't think this tree's fared too well. I can't find it here. And the soil looks like it's dried out a lot. So that one did not make it. Moving along to our 6th stake, we can see there is a little plant here which is surviving in amongst all this grass and definitely needs some love. Okay, we're at 50-50 success rate at the moment, and we've got 2 stakes to go. Now this one is buried a little bit, but we do have a tree that's starting to get going. Now these little acacias are a pioneer species, which means that they move in where there is damaged, hard, cracked, dry ground. They send down a really long taproot where they can reach the moisture, and then they just start to grow and flourish. So if we can get them in the ground and get them going, they should take off. So we will come around and mulch this little plant to give it a little bit of support, but I think it's looking pretty good. So just the one more stake, which is here, and we've got another acacia that's surviving and thriving. So that's 6 plants out of 9 that have survived. I hadn't looked after this area at all, so, you know, perhaps a visit or 2 might have been a good idea. But I'm going to get round and mulch these surviving plants just to ensure that they do continue to grow. In addition to retaining moisture, all of this extra mulch will also keep down the grasses right around these little plants and just give them a bit more access to light and space. Okay, I might get rid of some of this dock to start with. When I come across seeding dock plants like this, I just bundle it all up and throw it out on my swale. I haven't found much growing there, and I've been doing this for a number of years now. If it does grow in the swale, I can just mow it down with my tractor, so it's not going to be any issue, but I prefer it not growing too much here on my boom. Okay, now to our tree. So all those plants are cleared and mulched now, and my actual count here was 5 out of 8 plants. So for the 2 areas, I've got 13 surviving plants through summer out of 16. So it's not too bad, but the moral of the story is look after your plants just a little bit and you might get them all through. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.